Well, welcome back to Virginia this morning. Some much needed good news for those whose financial lives have been flipped upside down by the coronavirus. Jessica recently spoke with a chief credit analyst and a top line lending company. Here is that conversation.
As the calendar ticks forward another page and we've turned the leaf on a new month, many of us are starting to reconcile those bills and trying to figure out how everything is coming together. One of the key important things to do is to begin to ask for help early. We're joined by Matthew Schultz with LendingTree. He's got some amazing insight this morning on how and when and why we should be asking for assistance. Matt, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Important conversation to have. We were talking before we got started, and some folks are more inclined to ask for help in certain areas, but it seems with mortgage lending or with mortgages, they're not making that ask, or maybe they're not doing it early enough.
Yeah, we are seeing a fair number of people who are asking mortgage lenders, credit card lenders for help in making their monthly payment, whether it's reducing it for a little while or waiving it altogether. But the truth is that not enough people are doing it. And about 1 in 5 folks who we talked to who said that they didn't ask for one of those breaks yet said that they just didn't know that they could. So it's really important for people to understand that they have this sort of power with their credit card issuer, with their mortgage lender. They can ask for these breaks, and there's a pretty good chance that they're going to work with you at least in some way. So it's absolutely worth the call.
A lot of folks watching right now are saying that's pretty eye-opening, right? Matt, you're the chief credit analyst with LendingTree, a very well-recognized lender. And to have you sharing that insight that not only should folks be asking, they're probably going to be pleasantly surprised with the answer.
Yeah, our survey showed that about 9 in 10 people who asked for a break on a mortgage payment or a credit card payment got at least some sort of help. And those are really amazing numbers. And anytime the success rate is that high, it shows that it's not just people with 800 credit scores, or it's not just people with long track records with these lenders who are getting breaks. In fact, banks have these sorts of programs that kick into gear when there's a disaster. So we see it with hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, that sort of thing. And the coronavirus outbreak is certainly one of those cases that banks will often change their way of doing things for a little while to offer some short-term help for victims. But it's important to understand that people need to approach the banks and ask for that help. They're not going to come looking for you.
Right, that's incredibly eye-opening that I wasn't aware of that there are programs in place that, can help kick in and really make this an anticipated ask by the lenders from, consumers, but that we should be making that ask, and you say it's probably pretty important to do that early on. Start this current conversation early.
Yeah, there's no need to wait. The best time to make that call to your lender is today, because this process may take a little while to do. It may take a couple of phone calls. It may take a couple of emails or a waiting period after sending an email. So the sooner you can do it, the better off you'll be. And lenders will generally have a phone number available on their website, or you can call the 800 number on the back of your card, or they will also often have online forms that you can fill out to ask for help. So however you go about doing, however you go about doing it, make sure that you make it happen.
Right, don't wait until that last day, and do be patient, do anticipate that there will be a wait time to have this conversation, but in a way, if you reframe it and think, "Start this conversation early and do it," it also saves you, the consumer, the heartache and headache of waiting until the last minute. You get an answer early on and can reduce that stress load.
Yeah, the easier you can make it on yourself, the better. And one of the best ways to do that is simply to make that call early. And some of that is just that you'll may experience some long hold times, but it also may end up being a bit of a negotiation because your mileage can really vary by issuer, by bank that you talk to, because not all banks are offering the same sort of breaks to people. And even within the same bank, they may offer slightly different breaks to people based on their individual situations. So give yourself a little bit of time, make the call, and be persistent and be patient too.
Well, Matt, this is great insight. Thank you for sharing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. And definitely now that we know that we should be making the ask, that makes a big difference. We'll be sure to include some information on our website later today, WTVR.com/VTN.